Ange Postecolgou and Tottenham Hotspur are firmly in the driver's seat to finish in the top four. It feels like the rest of the Premier League has been really rejoicing and really taking great pleasure in watching Spurs go down to 9 men and lose to Chelsea. They gave them a bit of credit for how they played, but I don't think they gave them their just desserts for, Tottenham still looked the better team on the pitch to me, even down to 9 men. Follow that up to the next weekend, obviously the loss away to Wolves. It feels like the rest of the Premier League is leaning back and going, oh yeah, knew it would be a flash in the pan, and this is it. Their season's going to dissolve away. But from where I'm sitting, Tottenham are still in the driver's seat, and I think its top fours is theirs to get. In the video today, we're going to have a look at exactly where does the Tottenham squad sit at the moment, why these injuries that have came up in the last couple of weeks don't actually really change anything for what Ange and Tottenham are going to look to achieve in the January transfer window, and ultimately, as the season pans out, their overall objectives. At any point in the video, if you laugh, you learn, you like something or whatever, please do like and subscribe to the channel. We are pushing for 10,000 subscribers, and we cannot do that without your support, guys. So if you enjoy the content, hit the subscribe button for more, hit the like button, and get into the comment section and let me know what is the biggest thing Tottenham have to address in the January transfer window to keep these top four credentials alive. And let's just get stuck straight into it. Now, if we have a look at the Tottenham squad as it sits at the moment with no James Maddison and no Micky van de Ven, it does kind of highlight the main deficiencies that we've already visited on the channel in the Tottenham squad, particularly how shallow they are in defence, and how if they did lose Van de Ven, who was their big summer defensive upgrade, they would go back to having the same quality of defence literally as last season. And, not going to hold the 4 goals you conceded against Chelsea against the defence here, but against Wolves, I think the level did start to show of the Ben Davies and the Eric Dyers. As much as they put their body on the line and they give their all, the level does show out. The Premier League is so unforgiving. The finest of margins mean absolutely everything. And when it comes into the midfield and the forward areas, despite not having, again, major summer transfer, James Maddison in the team, Bentancur, Lo Celso, Heung, all these kind of fringe players are now starting to come back into fitness. We're seeing Brennan Johnson coming in on the left wing, which has pushed Son into a forward position, which means Richarlison, the whole square peg and a round hole kind of thing, hasn't been as much of an issue over the last couple of games. It's actually looked quite good with Johnson up there with Son and Kulusevski coming in from the right-hand side here. Now, Van de Ven is expected to return in the new year, as well as James Maddison. I think Van de Ven will probably be a bit closer to February than, like January, whereas Maddison is probably going to be out the other side of the new year, probably against Manchester United. So if we look at Tottenham's fixtures from now to then, with this kind of quality of squad that they're going to have at their disposal, it starts off really tough. The first 2 games they've got, they're at home at Aston Villa and then playing Manchester City. Aston Villa are just the hottest team in Europe at the moment to watch. It just feels they're so dynamic and so creative. And even though they're playing midweeks and weekends and have a lot of international players, they don't really seem to lose their stride. So I think this is a very dangerous match for a weakened Tottenham team. Man City will be a huge acid test, and not having Van de Ven and Maddison will hold Tottenham back for me. But from after there, it really does clear up, and the fixture list really until the end of the season is very, very rosy for Tottenham. We go through the rest of December playing West Ham and Newcastle, who will be juggling with Champions League and Europa League, midweek duties at that time. So a perfect time to be playing them in this kind of winter window. And then for 4 games on the row, it's Forest, Everton, Brighton, and Bournemouth before playing Man United. So Tottenham can get to the January window, to the January break or whatever. With this current squad here, I would expect them out of those matches we've just laid out before they play Manchester United to get somewhere around the 14 to 16 point mark. So if you look at where Tottenham are sitting at the moment and you look at the rest of the clubs in the Premier League over that same period of fixtures, it's hard to forecast many of them getting the same amount of points as Tottenham. And how good is this? The guys at QuinnBet have enhanced their UK welcome offer where you can now get a free bet up to £35. It's for new customers that sign up only. You can check out the full terms conditions on the website, quinnbet.com, or by clicking on the link that's in the description of this video. By clicking on that link, you support all the content here at the channel at 23,001. So I thank you in advance if you do so. It looks really impressive to me, but it is 18 plus. And remember, folks, always gamble responsibly. And this, for me, is where it starts to get really exciting for Tottenham. As much as we're worried about defence and all that kind of stuff we've mentioned so far, if we look at Tottenham's season and you take away the Burnley match, Tottenham have not scored more than 2 goals in any game. And so far, we associate Tottenham and Ange Postecoglou with exciting, attacking, gung-ho, all-out attack football. But I say, with the exception of one match against the bottom team in the league, they haven't scored more than 2 goals a game. Losing Maddison for this little period of time, I don't think it really impacts their ability to score 1 or 2 goals goals a match. We referenced already the Richarlison issue earlier in the video, so it's very clear to see for me that Tottenham's main concerns, defensive depth of quality that can cover for Van de Ven or any other player that may be injured or suspended from time to time, and really narrowing in that attacking identity and really nailing in an out-and-out front three that Ange can call upon for the biggest matches, that gets into that level that can score 3, 4, 5 goals a bit more regularly. And again, you just have to look at the level of attacking output that Aston Villa have managed to achieve this season. That's the sort of benchmark that Ange and Tottenham should be looking to get to, with one more attacking signing in the January transfer window. Because looking at these fixtures, playing Brentford, Man United, Bournemouth, Sheffield United, Arsenal, Liverpool, even the likes of Fulham and Crystal Palace, managing to score 2 goals or less a game and getting a lot of good points there against some very difficult opposition. And that's Ange in his first season. That's a lot of the formative part of the squad, learning Ange ball, developing and riding all these injuries that are going on. So I find it really hilarious when Spurs drop those points 2 games in a row, and it feels like the rest of the league is kind of chuckling to themselves, like, oh, Tottenham are not going to go and do anything. But what they don't realise is Tottenham, for as attacking as everyone thinks they are, haven't scored more than 2 goals a game, except for against Burnley. And for as like leaky and whatever as the defence has been, they only signed 1 notable defender in the summer, and it made a huge and I know the goalkeeper helped as well, but it made a huge difference to their defence, and that's the main just takeout that's happened there. So the fixture list for Tottenham, while they're at this weakened state, is quite favourable for me, and by the time they get their key players back and get into January, maybe reinforce the squad ever so slightly, the fixture list is amazing for Tottenham all the way up until the end of the season. Now, Tottenham's last 2 games of the season, the last game is against Sheffield United, the second last game is against Burnley, but the 4 games before that is Newcastle, Arsenal, Manchester City and Liverpool. So it's going to be a really exciting end to the season for Tottenham. But by the time you get to the last 6 games of the season, I think Tottenham, because there's not got European football of any description, I think they're just going to be in such a good position before they get to that do or die situation at the end of the league. So despite these losses, I think there's even more reason for Tottenham fans to be excited about their top 4 credentials for this season. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. On screen there now is some other stuff that I've made that YouTube thinks you might enjoy. I hope you enjoyed this one, guys. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share and retweet, and I'll catch you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.